Anime Summit, Episode 2.
I'm seeing it as just a little bit of homoerotic tension between friends.
Welcome to the Anime Summit podcast. This week, we're going to talk about the spring 2015 anime season, which most of us are participating in. I'm Koka, and with me I have Som.
What up?
Nick.
Hello.
And Mac.
What's up?
And we're
Okay, I just want to first off say that, this is going to be a hard episode for me, so you all have to bear with me, which, I know you guys will, because you guys are awesome. But I don't and I'm going to start watching current stuff. I try to wait until they're out before I watch them, because I don't like to torture myself by waiting a week. But for the sake of the show,
I find that anticipation to just be even more fun. But it's fine. In 5 weeks, when we're talking about other shows, you'll be like, hey guys, I just watched Hibike Euphonium, and it was great.
No, for the sake of this show, though, I will start watching them and whatever. But, I'm not I'm not like a fucking weebo, okay? Or I'm not like a fanboy, so I just watch it when people recommend it to me. But weekly, these guys will be recommending shows to me. So there you go.
So your list will grow faster than you can watch. We're going to try and make this episode not entirely about Hibike Euphonium.
But it's going to be
the way that we're going to do that is by not starting on it. We're going to try and save it and see what we can do with other shows.
So anyway, I was watching Evangelion the other day.
Oh,
and it's
my
on to
God.
you,
Not spring 2015. Food Wars. Shokugeki no Soma. So, Som, for you, since you have no idea what this is about, Soma
I have plenty of idea
a
what it's
dude.
about. I just didn't want to start watching it.
Have you read the manga?
No.
He has recently started going to a school that teaches people how to cook, but he has spent his whole life working in a Japanese restaurant where everybody loves his food. And he is he's the Kirito of cooks.
See, I knew all that, and you assumed I didn't.
Except he has an actual personality, unlike Kirito.
Yeah, he's definitely much more likable, and the world hasn't broken itself to allow him to be OP, so it's working.
No, he's arrogant, but in a funny way. He knows he's good, and he just does stuff with no shame and no humbleness, which is refreshing from a main character, because usually the main characters are kind of bland and a little bit too humble, a little bit boring. And then the side characters are usually the ones that are a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, he's pretty cocky. He's not really humble at all, but he also isn't a douchebag about it. He's still just a nice guy that just knows he's the shit, and that's it.
So what I like about this show is the foodgasms. Every time somebody eats really good food,
specifically
they go into these...
when Megumi ate the octopus and the tentacles and honey
the honey scene.
Oh my God, more tentacles. Oh God, this is a repeat from a few weeks ago. Oh shit, I'm having flashbacks. Oh God. Oh man.
You guys saw the tentacles.
You saw the episode last week too, right? They did the Shokugeki in the basement, and then the main chef.
I guess we should say that there may be some spoilers up to whatever week we are at.
It's not really
11th
that
week.
much of a spoiler.
Yeah,
they do a bunch of those during the show. I won't say what happens.
Every episode's a cliffhanger, but it's never really that important. It just gets you hyped up.
They turn into magical girls, including the guys, as their
when they eat
as their foodgasm.
The person that is not Soma's food, when they eat the other guy's food, they suddenly do. Was it cabbage? The cabbage girls.
Yeah, it was all cabbage.
Magical cabbage.
They had a really detailed cabbage too, because that's a trope.
Well, the food all looks good in this show.
Cabbage has to be the most detailed object on the screen.
This is Iron Chef, the high school fight anime.
Have you been watching it, Mac?
No.
Have you watched any of it?
I haven't.
Fuck this show then. Let's go to the next one.
Sorry. I work too much. It's hard for me to get much anime in right now.
Dude, just don't sleep. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, just quit your job.
So much mandatory OT.
Just collect unemployment and watch anime.
Yeah, easy. Disability, unemployment.
Government cheese.
Quit job, question mark, profit.
Well, I don't know if there's too much profiting involved, but...
See, what you guys are talking about, you're talking fat, greasy guy in the basement eating Domino's pizza with Hatsune Miku on the box.
Whoa,
Yes,
Sam, we don't wanna know
watching his
your
Hatsune
life story
Miku
here.
live concert on his Domino's pizza box.
Let me just watch this live concert on my Domino's pizza box in my parents' basement.
That's living the dream.
Well, that's apparently what Eric wants us to do, so we got to do it, man.
That's true.
Just
That's
gotta
true.
do it. Wait, so
Turn
I
it over.
cannot remember who said they watched which of these shows. I'm just gonna pick one of them and hope it was one that Mac is watching. Unlimited Blade Works.
Oh yeah, there we go. There's something I know
Yeah,
about.
Okay, there we go. Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works. This is the second part of this adaptation of the Unlimited Blade Works story art from the Type Moon visual novel.
Okay, I haven't watched that, but I know what happens.
You
done
basically
the
we're
visual novels
we're
or
we're to
whatever?
the point right now where we actually found out that Rin is actually Archer.
Yes.
You mean, wait, Rin is actually Archer? You mean is actually Archer?
No, Rin is Archer. What are you talking
Rin is
about? Get out
Archer.
of here, pleb.
I thought she was
Okay, then I
Destro.
guess this is taking a different turn than what I watched.
Sam, I think you were watching the porno version where they just.
No, I was watching.
Everybody is gender bent. No, you're right. I'm
okay,
gonna
can someone
bleep
explain
out
that
what
to
you
me
said
then?
because that's
Because-
actually like a spoiler. We're just joking. Because
It's a massive joke that
about the
that
same
Archer
time that
is
the
Rin.
episode came out in which you find out who Archer is, a figure preview was posted of Rin in Archer's outfit. Basically the same outfit Kuro wears in Fate Prisma Ilia.
Oh, so you guys just made me say a major spoiler then.
Yeah, I'll bleep
I already
it.
forgot
I'll
it,
bleep
dude.
it.
Okay,
It's fine,
so
no
like
one's gonna-
that's totally not my fault. Like,
Unlimited troll works.
Of course, the one thing you have to say when you're talking about Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works is the animation is beautiful.
well,
Yeah.
Unlimited Blade Works, it's the same studio that did Zero, so
Yeah, UFO table, unlimited
Yeah,
budget.
UFO
work.
table.
Unlimited budget works all the way.
Unlimited Budget Works.
It really is. This shit's ridiculous, man. I mean, just the quality of it, and every single episode is so freaking pretty.
Did anyone watch
wonder what their
the
budget-
first anime series they did for Stay Night?
The
Oh,
Deen
from Studio Deen?
adaptation.
Oh,
I heard that was terrible.
yep, I've seen
Oh
it.
man,
I've
I've
seen
seen
it.
all of it because I thought I needed to watch it before watching Fate Zero.
No.
It is not good, and it kind of like hints on some of the more advanced plot points that are in
Well-
Unlimited Blade Works, but it never hits them, so you're just kind of left with this. Okay.
Right. And the visual novel is set in 3 paths: Fate, Unlimited Blade Works, and Heaven's Feel.
Which is a
and-
movie coming out later this year, next year,
Yeah, for Heaven's Feel.
sometime.
There already was a movie made for Unlimited Blade Works, and then the studio who did Fate Zero was like, we're going to step in and redo this as a series because that'd be way better.
Because you guys suck.
Pretty much.
Though, to be fair, Studio Deen did bring us Sakura Trick, so they saved anime while they were destroying it.
The original Stay Night, just so people aren't confused, was supposed to mainly be an adaptation of the first path, which is Fate, and it touched on the other two, but to the point where it just confused people. So, like, that's why it probably wasn't very good. And
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff where it seems like they're going to tell you who Archer is, and then then they hint at who it is. Like, I was able to figure it out even from that horrible adaptation, but they never actually get to it, and you're still just like, wait, is that what? I don't...
right.
Well, one thing you got to remember though is anything that comes to the Fate franchise, you know, it's all a different route. I mean, you've got Unlimited Blade Works, Stay Night, and then you got, you know, Zero. I mean, Zero ties into what happens in Stay Night and
And I'm going to
Unlimited
make
Blade
a
Works
lot of
and all
people
that.
mad right
Well,
now.
you have to
can
remember-
watch whichever one you want first.
Well, no, I mean, you might be
Yeah.
confusing. You might be confusing the paths and routes with the actual different series. There's 3 routes within Stay Night, because these are all visual novels by Type Moon. So when you play a visual novel, there's normally 3 to 7 routes that the player can take, and Fate Zero is set before Stay Night, and then after that,
Yeah,
it's
sorry,
supposed
I
to be-
flubbed. I flubbed. That was
So-
my bad.
Okay, my question is each of the Fate shows, franchises, are they each separate stories? Like,
They
or
are
alternate
separate
universes?
enough
Is that what it is?
that you would have no real issue. All the Fate Stay Night ones are essentially alternate paths through the same basic
So it's
story.
alternate timelines. It's not like continuity.
yeah.
You can't even
if-
really think of it as timelines. It's just different,
It's just
It's
different,
different-
path, like a
a
different.
different
If,
path.
if one person made a different choice, it would
which
be.
I guess you would say timeline, but it doesn't really fit
No.
with how
So
American
if you're
culture treats
watching
those.
Stay Night, any Stay Night, you're watching one timeline. Fate Zero takes place like 5 or something years before.
10 years.
years
It's like
prior.
10 years, I think.
Oh, 10 years.
8.
Okay, yeah. And then Hollow Ataraxia is like after Stay Night.
And then
and-
Prisma Ilia is almost entirely unrelated.
Yeah, Prisma Ilia is kind of that's more of just like a
Though
fun.
it is kawaii as fuck.
And Fate Apocrypha is a different alternate. That's a completely different timeline. So like if anyone's confused about Fate Apocrypha, the Grail is removed from Fuyuki City, so Zero and Stay Night never happened.
See, I had never even heard of it. Does that actually have an adaptation?
There's a light novel. It's a light novel.
Oh,
Ain't nobody
God.
got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for light
Wor-
novels.
Words on books. One thing I will have to say though about Blade Works, after of course the animation is wonderful, is damn there's a lot of monologuing.
Oh yeah, I've heard the infamous first episode of Fate. Was it Zero? Where it's just like 45 minutes of dialogue.
Well, I mean
Pretty
that's
much.
establishing the story and stuff. This will be like in the middle
Yeah,
of
but
action, and then it's like
Cinematically, it's not very
you
exciting.
you have to do your tell them everything monologue that directly works against you accomplishing that because you give them more time to become powerful while draining yourself. Great. That's smart. No, just kill them. Just kill them immediately. I believe in every Fate there's a mana transfer scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the original Unlimited Blade Works movie used magic dolphins, which I believe this kind of copied over.
Something
And
like that.
Fate
It was
Stay Night used dragons.
I'm sorry. I can't. Every time I think about that scene, I just start
Yeah.
laughing.
So, the Fate visual novels, at least, fairly erotic in nature, like full-blown sex scenes, and those don't translate very well into, kid-friendly TV.
Isn't this
So you
stuff
kind
on,
of
like,
just
at
see
night,
the
though?
setup where they start to get kind of, a little bit more undressed, and then it just kind of goes into space dolphins.
Space dolphins.
Space
Take
dolphins.
me
There's
to
also some
Pleasure
weird moments
Town
where
on
if you're really paying
Burgundy.
attention, you're like, whoa, why is Saber tied up with her bent over with her dress pulled up over her ass? That seems a little bit weird. Oh, wait, erotica scene happened there, but they just cut it out of the show.
I
Something
wonder if
like
they
that.
actually animated those scenes and just put them on the Blu-rays. I feel like that would sell a lot more.
Probably would sell a lot, but I'm not too sure of too many anime like that are serious franchises that then went on to actually make hentai for them. Like official.
If I may, really quickly, kind of off topic of currently airing, but it applies to currently airing. Have any of you guys seen Carnival Phantasm?
I have not, but I've heard of it.
No idea.
After Unlimited Blade Works is done airing, you should go watch Carnival Phantasm because it's basically it's Type Moon parodying all of its animes into one. So you've got like tons of Fate in there, and it's hysterical. I love it. It's truly brilliant.
So you'd say watch that after watching Fate.
Yeah, I mean that way you can get more of the references. I mean, you'd obviously get more if you see all of the if you've seen the Deen adaptation and if you've seen Zero and UBW, you'd certainly get a little bit more. But yeah, it's something I would highly recommend just for the laughs.
Does it have magical girl Ilya looking cute?
There's
And
a
making out
scene
with
with
other
magical
magical
girl
girls?
Rin where Rin turns into a magical girl.
Yeah, well, I mean, she does that in Prisma Ilya.
But you have wonderful characters like Berserker when Berserker turns into a car.
He's a werecar?
No, like literally there's this competition where they all have to race and they have vehicles, and Ilya's vehicle is Berserker where Berserker turns into a tank.
Okay. It's just piquing my interest a little bit.
It's really funny.
Would you say your love for him is like a truck?
Okay, then. Plastic memories.
That's quite the segue.
Mm. That is.
I'm
quite
a
the
master
segue.
I'm the master of the art.
It's so smooth.
Plastic Memories is essentially a very animated out adaptation of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? And I say adaptation
like
very,
Blade
very loosely. It's just uses very similar themes. Yes. Well, Blade Runner
Or
is the
Blade
movie
Runner came
adaptation
after.
of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
Yeah.
I could be
yeah.
making all this up. I don't know.
I think
I
it
only
did.
promise to be right 10% of the time. Plastic Memories is about people with their servant robots that eventually go crazy and kill people.
Okay.
Anyway, our main character, he works for a company that retrieves these Giftias, these robots, before they go crazy and kill people. And we're at the point where, well, in the first episode, he meets who is going to be his partner, but he meets her outside of the confines of his job, and he immediately falls in love. Well, anime love. And she's total
In other words, he
lowly.
stutters a lot.
Kind of starts off very similar to a Rei Ayanami character, but definitely far better in the end. But Nick, I hear you really hate this show.
Yep. I think it's pretty boring. I think the main character is just too stuttery. He's like Kumiko on Hibike. Shots fired.
Grrr.
What I don't like
What do you?
the most.
What do you mean by
I have a pet
stuttery?
peeve with these new shows. These new shows are coming out. Have a lot of the characters make this. It's like a mannerism that they do in Japan. I don't know if they do this in real life or not, but it's when somebody addresses them, they respond by saying "huh, huh, huh," or they say "ha," like in the most airheaded way possible. And it just really bothered me. No, that's not it. It's just like one syllable, like staccato. It's just like
Eh?
it gets
I
on my
can't
nerves
even
so
tell
much.
what you're trying to say.
They're basically
mean-
saying "huh," but in an annoying way.
Isn't
And
that
they
in America
do this
as well?
multiple times an episode. It's like 10 plus times for the same character. It's like they're
I
surprised.
really
whenever
don't feel like
somebody
I've noticed
talks
this
to
at
them.
all.
Okay, you will notice next time you watch it, because he does it almost every other
How
time.
does it go again?
He says "huh," but it's very
mean,
short.
How does it go
huh?
again?
We're just gonna keep making me say it. I can't even do it like they do. Yeah, I
So
know you guys are
that-
trolling. But...
That's the only issue that you have with
No,
it?
that's just one of them. Basically, the show just doesn't feel like there's that much on the line. I know the main premise of the show is that the what is it, the robots? God, I can't remember the names of them.
Giftias?
Giftias. They eventually shut down after like 9 years or something, and they have to replace their memory. But I just don't see the appeal of it. It's kind of like Death Parade, but with worse direction, because Death Parade had almost a similar idea. It's like you have these characters that have very short arcs, like 1 or 2 episode arcs, where their story goes through, and you're supposed to care for them a little bit, but it's kind of hard to do in that short amount of time. And then their characters are done for the series. The difference here is that the setting is not as interesting as Death Parade, and the animation is not as good. Pretty much everything is like a worse version of Death Parade, in my opinion. And Death Parade also, I don't know if I mentioned it, it also had some issues too with it. With the premise by itself is just not strong enough to carry a show the way they're doing it.
I don't really know what the premise of Death Parade is.
Please explain.
Death Parade. Oh, sorry, Matt, go ahead.
Oh, I said please explain. I'm listening intently.
So Death Parade was the show airing
What's
in
Death
this
Parade?
winter season, winter 2015. What was that song?
Death Parade sucks.
Your anime is shit, and you should feel like shit.
Okay, basically Death Parade, there's arbiters. I'm just going to keep talking. There's arbiters
No, keep going. Sorry.
in this afterlife area, and it's like a bar atmosphere. There's 2 elevators that come down, and people walk in. There's people who've recently died, and they have to play a game, and the arbiters decide based on what the people do in the game. They decide if they go to reincarnation or the void. And there's supposed to be significance to that, but I don't want to get into spoilers. Basically, they just don't do enough with that premise in Death Parade. Although it's very well directed and very like high production values because it's Madhouse. They have great animation, songs. The OP is really good for Death Parade, although that's not
Sounds like
technically part of the show.
Danganronpa.
Danganronpa. I have not seen that one, so I couldn't tell you.
It's like these kids end up in a school. They're getting like murdered one by one. The rules is that you have to kill somebody and then you can leave.
That already sounds more fun than Death Parade.
But if they figure out it's you, then you die. And then at the end, they always have like a voting thing. Like
they got like a Death Note thing. They're just like, Kira, I'm gonna write in my notebook and eat a potato chip, and then you're dead.
Death Note sucks.
Dude, what show is good, Sam?
But it's based on your description of Death Parade, I'm not sure I really see the relation, because that sounds like the stories are all about the people that died, while Plastic Memories would be about the arbiters.
They're essentially dying again, just like the Giftias. The Giftias are alive, quote unquote, and then they get reset.
Yes, but Plastic Memories isn't about the Giftias. It's about Isla.
Yeah, it's a romantic comedy. They go a lot lighter of a route than Death Parade or a lot of other shows. The first episode was a little bit confusing because I thought they were going to go more.
I'm sorry, what's the show we're talking about called? What?
Plastic Memories.
It's not Plastic
not
Memories.
Plastic Memories.
I'm sorry if you got excited there. But...
I
did. that show would be awesome. I'd watch that.
The whole premise is that they're tearing these people out of these other people's lives and tearing their memories away, so that everything that they did suddenly doesn't matter as much. And the whole issues that you're dealing with Isla is that she basically kind of runs into the hedgehog's dilemma of the closer you get to people, the more you hurt them. Because if she knows that she's going to be torn away from people, why should she try to get close in the first place?
So she's like an android or something?
Yes.
She's a paranoid android.
So you're saying it's Chobits?
Chobits?
They're a bit more sentient. Chobits was much more computer. These guys are like, they're indistinguishable from humans almost basically entirely.
So you're saying I should watch Chobits?
I mean, as somebody who's watched Chobits, I can honestly say, it's a good pass the time anime, but I wouldn't really recommend it to somebody who, wants to watch a great anime. I mean,
definitely.
Dude, that opening on Chobits is pretty dope, though. That's a great opening.
It is.
Super catchy.
Well, I think you guys are getting into like debate mode now, and that for Plastic Memories, and that should probably be saved. So
why would that have to be? That's what exactly the episode's for.
It sucks.
I know, but like, how long is it gonna last?
I feel like I'm waiting until there's an appropriate time to start talking about Hibike Euphonium.
Yeah.
Something Kumiko.
Plastic Memories sucks. Move on.
Nick, I feel like you're focusing on the entire wrong parts of Plastic Memories.
Dude,
I'm on that bombshell.
Yeah, Nick, how much of it did you actually watch, though?
I'm caught up to it. I've watched all of the episodes so far.
You just hate cute things.
No, I love cute things.
You hate the boy blob, and you hate all the lolis.
I don't even know, man. I don't pay attention. I don't judge people like that. I don't see height.
You don't see breast size.
DFC Opie. It's all good. So should we go to the next show, or should we on Classic Memories?
Yeah, we're about half an hour in. I think it's okay for us to allow Mac to start talking about Hibike Euphonium.
And on that bombshell, Hibike Euphonium. Because Kumiko is the best and Nick doesn't know what he's talking about.
No, she's not.
You're wrong.
She's not even the best in her own show.
Sapphire-chan.
Midori she's
no,
cute.
We all know the best girl is Ribbon-chan.
Reina? Yeah, Reina's the best one.
No, Ribbon-chan.
Oh no, don't even get me started on that bullshit.
Girl who's crying.
I hate that. Oh my god, I hate that.
She looked like the girl from
Magi. What's the show called?
Hibike Euphonium.
Hibike Euphonium. It's by Kyoto Animation, airing spring season.
KyoAni. They want to be called KyoAni. They said so on their Twitter. Their very first Twitter post. So Hibike is about Kumiko, who has now started high school. She chose the high school because it had the cutest uniform.
And because she's best girl and she needs to wear the cutest uniform.
Yes.
Wait, that was her reason?
She wanted to go to a school that had your Sarafuku, your sailor uniform. And she happened to play in concert band in middle school and decides to join the high school's concert band. despite the fact that her first impression of them is that they suck. And we get to see this new group blossom after some horrible events that happened in the last year. And they have a new teacher now. Everything's going great. They have the best trumpet player ever.
I just like couldn't understand what you were saying. It sounded like you were saying like the 3 letters E, B, and K.
Hibike is Japanese for sound.
Oh,
No, I know what it's Japanese for. It just didn't know it was a Japanese word because what it sounded like. You guys just have accents when you're speaking in Japanese, so.
Hibike.
Hibike
Dude,
Euphonium.
I'll talk in English for you, Sam. Hibike, Euphonium.
Hibike.
Great anime. I really enjoy when they play their instruments,
Hey now.
especially tuba kun.
Dude, my favorite thing to put on my taco is
Chupacabra.
jalapenos and frijoles.
You use the hot sauce. Man, I
Hey
can't-
now.
That was terrible.
I don't know if I like the tone of your voice now, son.
Now let's get a foam finger and a cowboy hat and go to a
Who needs a
football
foam
game.
finger? Y'all ain't got nothing
Look,
on
it's
this.
not my fault that y'all have bad accents when you speak Japanese.
Yeah, my
Hibiki,
accent's
that
pretty
is
great.
how you would say it.
No, it's Hibike.
Hibike.
Isn't it end in an I?
Negative.
No,
I've just
It's
been
an
writing
E.
it poorly.
It's an E.
No, I mean, yeah, if it ended in an I, yes, that would definitely be how you say it.
Okay.
It ends in an E.
Hibike. Yeah. Okay. I watched it on Crunchyroll, so it says sound, so I forgot how it was spelled.
It's
I know,
okay.
but
It happens.
It just Mac was saying it like EBK. I was like, "What's EBK?" Like
It's like welcome to the EBK
Hibike Euphonium.
electric butt chorus. I don't know.
with a K. It's like Mortal Kombat chorus.
Smack, what are your feelings on Hibike Euphonium?
Well, my feelings on Hibike Euphonium are that this anime is pretty freaking great. Mainly because I was in the band. I played Euphonium. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, this is so true. Like, all of
I
this
guess
shit.
you have to like Kumiko now. It's kind of
Yeah, I mean, she
No,
played
he
my
has to like
instrument.
Asuka.
So
No.
Michael, you relate
Oh
to
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Good point.
You relate to it because like you were kind of
Kumiko's
there.
still not best girl.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, I was there. I did all of this. I had the auditions. You know, we had auditions for first chair, second chair, and then,
Yep.
you know, whenever the Euphoniums actually had a solo, oh god,
It was awful.
it was.
Everybody
You know, we
threw
actually
up.
had to get serious about something.
And I think anime lately, when it comes to real life experiences, they're doing better at making them more realistic. You know.
Oh, there's
Except
a
for the-
lot to say in terms of that with Hibike. There's
Yes.
moments early on with Kumiko when she's getting ready for her first day of school where she's wondering how much she wants to roll her skirt up, which is a thing that Japanese girls deal with. It's how much do they want to break the school rules in terms of shortening their skirts.
Yep,
God
yep.
bless them.
She should just wear it down to her shoes.
Like Sailor Moon
Gangsta.
style.
No, like the skirt just sags it all the way down. Shows a
So
little
we
bit of
see
She
just
like
what?
steps.
Sags
She like
it, not-
steps over it.
Wears a gold chain, you know.
And the whole fact that, as I said, Kumiko picked the school based on the uniform, that's like a big deal where high schools pay a lot of money to get like real designers to design their school uniforms.
And then,
Really?
Yes, that is one of those big cultural things because you have to test into high school in Japan.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
It's like already going to college basically.
Yeah, I did not know that about the school uniforms though.
well, whenever Kumiko goes to this school, it wasn't just because of the uniforms. It was also because she wanted to kind of start new, you know, get a
Oh,
fresh
that's the
start on
reason I
everything.
remember.
She tried to pick the school that nobody else went to. They just
And then
the big thing
Reina
was also
shows up.
the sailor uniform. Yes, Reina Kosaka.
And then the show's producers were like, we can't have all boring characters.
We can't
so
have
let's
two
arrange
best
it."
girls, so let's make them a couple.
But
Oh,
no,
yeah.
but
Okay,
no,
there
they're
we
not
go.
a couple.
Best part of the
because
show.
This
Give
this
me
show
Yuri
should be
or give
called
me Death.
Unlimited Bait Works.
Yeah, they
let's
bait.
throw you
the
some
unlimited
bait here.
works thing again. God damn it.
It is not as baity as some people think.
Bait is my body.
I mean, I'm
And bait
baiting the
is
whole
my blood.
time while watching, but that's unrelated.
I have seen
mostly.
over 1,000 baits.
Because a lot of the stuff coming from Kosaka's, quote unquote confession it's fairly sarcastic in its nature, but it's just out of like respect for the fact that Kumiko can kind of be overly
She
honest.
has a bad personality. She said it herself.
She's
like directly.
overly honest.
That's not a bad thing though. Being straightforward is great.
Well,
love
I'm
that.
using the word overly. Like she is kind of the one that, she says something. It is perfectly honest and perfectly true, but maybe you should have just kept it to yourself.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with
Then
that.
she
That's
couldn't
what
have
makes her
touched her
best
nose
girl.
and
She
lips
says
and
what's
made
on her
them jiggle,
mind.
like in that GIF that everybody keeps posting.
That
You gotta
was
have an
just because
excuse for them
Kosaka's
to talk
lonely.
really close. Gotta
And then,
have
of course,
dramatic conversation.
Kumiko's confession back was more just a mock, not mocking, but a parroting of what Kosaka had said in the first place. Anyway,
I get what you're saying. See, I mean, a lot of these people are seeing Yuri, and extra Yuri in this, but
I'm seeing it as just a little bit of homoerotic tension between friends.
yeah, I see them. I mean, you and I,
Well,
everyone
in the
has
locker
experienced
room.
this. Like when you're talking to a friend that you've known for a really long time, and for better lack of phrasing, you dick around. You just cut up and joke around. I mean, it happens, and that's one of the great things that I think this show is showing really well between two friends who have known each other for quite a while.
But there is the counter argument to that in that you're basing it on American culture.
That is true.
While
Yeah,
I haven't
pretty
experienced the
sure
Japanese culture, so
homoerotic tension isn't as
Wait, I thought
common in Japan.
okay. I think it's the other way around. Actually, I've heard that it's more common there because, like, you see people of the same sex
Yeah,
holding
then
hands.
again, yeah, I guess also,
Because if you do that in
all
America,
the boob grabbing
you're
in the
one of
hot
the
springs,
gays
right?
if
It
you do that
can't
in
be
America, and then,
entirely fake, right?
Cowboy hats come after you.
As a bisexual man who has been attracted to a lot of my male friends,
That's just normal.
like, I guess we never made a big deal about it, Like, if I was hanging out with my dude and I would be like, I guess I was just more straightforward about it. I'm like, bro, I'm attracted to you. We should do it right now.
Sam, you have to stutter for 3 episodes.
You looking
you
real
gotta
cute
stutter.
today.
Then you might hold hands at the end.
I would
did
make
you
him
blush?
wear a Speedo. I would make him wear a Speedo and wash my car.
Your nipples
like,
are
get in-
perfect.
On
Yeah,
dodgeball.
get in there all nice and deep like.
So
Rub your
the
belly.
important question is, whenever you held hands, did it immediately get censored? I mean, was there like a censor over it? Everything got pixelated and blurry because that's
It
too
was a
lewd.
black bar.
Oh, a thin black bar though, right? So you could still basically
Lewd.
see.
In Japan, they do the blurry pixelated thing. In America, they do the black bar.
Because this is America. We got the FCC.
And the cats. Don't forget the cats.
But no, in all seriousness, no. I guess I never really looked into that. That's a good argument that Eric brought up, though.
Yeah, that is.
But I mean,
Can't say that I know for sure how that works because, I mean, as I said a little bit before, in the hot spring episodes, they always show girls on each other a little bit. And the whole concept of, while maybe it's obviously going to be exaggerated for the purpose of shows and the fact that the shows are directed towards males.
well, that's the thing too, is that I think it's just kind of.
But there may still be a little bit of that because if they are doing, regularly joint bathing, or not, regularly, but often enough, like it's not unusual for,
Right.
two girls to go bathe together essentially.
Maybe
That, they're going to make those comments. They're going to be like, oh man, you have bigger boobs than I do.
Yeah, maybe it's
Which-
just they're just really comfortable with each other, because like Eric said, like there's always like that bathhouse or hot spring episode,
Dude, they have not had a beach episode yet. I'm disappointed.
I am as well.
But like I was reading
I don't know
Crying
if they do
Freeman.
at the beach, but
I was reading Crying Freeman, and there's a part where like the princess girl, or not princess, but like the mafia wife, and the other one of the guards, she's like this big huge chick. They're like bathing each other, all comfortable and stuff, and she just randomly like sucks on her nipple, like it's normal, like it's normal.
What's a blowjob between friends?
Like that's what I'm saying.
I just
Like
say no homo.
like
You're
dude,
fine.
like yeah, like you're sucking my dick. You're gay. I'm not gay. You're gay. Like.
Oh man, we're gonna have to put the explicit tag on this episode. Aren't
Yeah,
we?
sorry. But no, yeah, like she just randomly sucks on her nipple and she giggles, and it's like they're really close with each other, and it's really weird. It's maybe Eric brings up a good point though. Like maybe they're just really comfortable with each other, and it's just like a normal thing, and whatever. Like, because at what point does it become love when they're looking at each other? You know, like I don't know. You tell me.
What is
But,
love?
like,
Baby,
I
don't hurt
really
me.
do want to talk about what recently happened with Ribbon-chan and Kosaka and Kaori, but I feel like that enters spoiler territory.
Well,
I
you
got to
gotta
about
realize
it
though,
so much.
Is Ribbon
it's
Chan the
gonna
girl who
take
was
a little
crying?
bit before this
The one
episode
with
gets out in comparison.
Kurosaki, the Chitogi ribbons, except they're green and smaller.
She had like the Mugi eyebrows, and she was crying during
Yeah.
the last
Yeah.
episode.
Sweet tears. She needed to cry. I hate that bitch.
I hate that bitch.
You heard it here. Mac hates everybody except Kumiko.
If I was a Euphonium player, no lie. If I was a Euphonium player in that episode, I'd have reached in my Euphonium case. I'd have pulled out my white glove. I'd have slapped some baby powder on it, and I'd have been like, "Get in your place, bitch. I ain't got time for this."
And she was so
What the hell is your
just like
problem?
Yeah, now we know, Mac.
disrespectful
Max
to
Fantasy.
both Kaori and Kosaka with some of her actions, even though she was trying to pretend, I guess, believe herself that she was doing the right thing, even though she was basically just telling everybody else to deny themselves just to make her happy.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't like
or to fit
characters
what
like
she
that.
thought that would make them happy.
I mean, it made sense in a way. Her argument did, but because there's only a limited amount of time for the other players.
Yeah,
to
it makes
get
sense
solo,
if
but
you
it's
just like entirely ignore everything that's going
whatever.
on.
She had a weak argument, but at least it was something. Dude, I'm just waiting for Clarinet Kun to show up. That was my instrument in band.
I want them to make those figures and sell them, little keychains.
Oh God, I would buy
I would
those.
totally get one.
I'd buy a Tubacabra.
Tuba Kun.
Tuba-kun, yes.
Claire-
No, I'd buy a
Clarinet Kun.
Tubacabra.
What do you guys
But-
think of the animation of this series?
The animation's
Well,
freaking
the
beautiful.
budget smile will make everybody fall in love.
Yeah, the Kosaka Reina.
Yeah, how
But-
come not Best Girl gets that smile and Best Girl doesn't? That's what I want to know.
Best Girl's too busy saying, huh?
Oh no,
Oh,
no,
man, I'm such a hater.
no.
Hibike Euphonium sucks.
Oh man. Oh God. Oh no.
Dude,
I'm
Mac,
not.
I'll
I'm
give
not
you his
gonna get
address.
into
Just
this.
go over
I'm not
there
gonna get into
Slap
this.
him. Glove slap him.
Anyway, Som, so you can see what the budget smile is. Slackbot just posted it in Slack.
Okay. Dude, just for
But-
the
but-
record, I've never seen. Oh yeah, no, I saw when somebody posted that earlier. Your waifu is trash. Dude, that animation is so slick though.
Yeah,
It
what are
is.
the techniques they use? None of us here are like film majors. We don't know. I know
It's
they
not
use
even-
something in the
film
Dude,
stuff
background.
I mean,
wouldn't
well,
even help
okay,
them.
so,
Background
I
is
mean,
different
anime-
from the foreground. They use,
Anime
like,
nowadays
special-
is still done the normal way.
They,
By
they use a
drawing
lot of
it.
computer generated.
But it's digitally
animation.
drawn now.
Yeah,
They don't draw.
digital.
Oh no, yeah. A lot of it is still digitally drawn.
Well,
And
Yeah,
that
sketches
started
on
in the
paper,
early
but-
2000s.
And
Like, you
it
can
depends.
tell.
It depends on the style, though. Okay. But I mean, there's in this case with this girl, what's her name?
Reina.
Osaka.
Okay, bitch. So in this case with bitch,
That's not Ribbon Chan. Okay.
they probably used in between or in betweening or tweening is what they call it, which basically you put two frames together and then you put it in between or a tween effect between those two frames and it'll fill it in automatically. That's probably why it's so damn smooth. It's just really tedious tweening.
Would that be on ones?
Well,
where
you just
they
put
animate each
really
frame
heavy
of the-
keyframes.
Yeah, exactly. Really
Instead of
heavy
doing like
keyframes.
one every 2 or one every 3 frames, are they doing it like one cell every frame?
They're
It's
probably doing
very
I don't know if
rare
they're
that
doing
you're
that.
gonna get
'Cause that's
every single
expensive.
frame.
Yeah, that's super expensive.
Yeah, no, it's probably
Double or triple the cost.
that's what I'm saying. Like with tweening, tweening is 2 clicks. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Unless you pay Filipinos to do all your in-between keyframes.
unless you
Or
pay
India.
Filipinos.
India, you gotta
No,
outsource.
I
it.
believe they outsource to China mostly,
But yeah, anyways,
and Korea.
Hibike
but-
Euphonium sucks. Next show.
But wait.
Wait,
Before-
wait.
Before this goes too much further, I have a comment about this episode, and that's with second best girl. How about Natsuki?
Asuka.
Natsuki.
Okay, so Reina's best girl, Asuka's second best. Kumiko's like fourth.
How dare you.
I could see fourth.
Oh,
Natsuki's
so
a solid
mad right
3.
man, just how real Natsuki is.
No, actually, Taki Sensei's third best girl.
Yeah, he's got the messy hair.
Now,
the
if
broad
we're going
shoulders
there,
look like-
obviously Kaiki is best girl, obviously. if we're going there.
Man, I gotta look at this character list. I don't even know who the names are. Oh, Sapphire. I'm picking her because she's got a
Mac,
thing in her
as
hair.
I'm sure, since you do love Natsuki Senpai, Natsuki Senpai.
Not gonna work here
go back
anymore
to
I believe
that.
it's
anyway.
Natsuki.
Senpai.
I'm sure you saw the little bit of that scene where it shows the girls, well, the whole class really, standing around Taki Sensei, and you see how tall he is, and you see basically what looks like a little Natsuki, because you're used to kind of seeing it from their perspective.
Yeah,
where
it was
she
really
seems
cool.
properly scaled, and then you see her just like actually seen as small, made her look adorable. And then you see Sapphire Chan like barely making her way up into the frame at all in the first place.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, I mean, you kind of get a perspective for how big Midori or Sapphire Chan is whenever she's next to her contrabass.
Yeah,
This is
she's
true.
the she's
This
the
is true.
lolly of the group.
Yes,
Gotta have
she
the
is.
token lolly.
It's lowly, and she's not really a
Lolly.
lolly.
So,
it is.
Lolly,
so
lolly.
given the
Yeah, you're
fact
right.
that I haven't watched a lot of these shows, I did watch the last Studio Ghibli movie today, which I think someone told me was a part of this season.
How
Dude.
did you feel about that, Som?
Okay, well, I
Oh my
Tell us
God.
more.
I consider myself to be a Ghibli expert, so
Fun fact on that, when I was looking at opportunities to live in Japan for a while and do a little bit of work, there was a cultural foundation that was looking for English speakers that were well knowledged in anime, and then they specifically put in parentheses, not just Ghibli.
really.
Yes.
Well, I don't look at the Ghibli films as anime so much as I do just part of cinema.
They're kind of
So-
more Disney than regular anime.
Well, Disney does
Well, Disney helped out on
license
this.
all
yeah,
of the
No, no,
Ghibli
no, no,
movies,
no, no, no.
pretty
yeah.
much.
Disney helps produce them for America.
helped produce them. Well, they helped
They have-
produce this
They
one.
do the
Sorry.
licensing. That's why I said they license them.
Yeah, they have nothing to do with its animation style or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
But it is clearly a Disney style because Disney likes it and they take it.
well, yeah, I guess. But their style was not based on anything. Definitely not. They definitely didn't have Disney in mind when.
That you know of.
No, I do know, because Hayao Miyazaki was drawing way before that anti-Semite was.
Man, everything's gotta be negative.
But
Shots fired. Shots
It
fired.
sucks.
no, like
When Marnie
this-
was there, that's the name of the movie, by
Yeah.
the way.
Omoide no Marnie. It was so The Wind Rises was Hayao Miyazaki's last, and When Marnie Was There is Studio Ghibli's last, or potentially its last. So
Their
very
Brett
s-
Favre last, their fake retirement. They're gonna
yeah,
come
it was
back.
it was very kind of sad for me to watch. Now, like I said earlier, I consider these to be part of cinema, and I love movies. I love the cinema. I love all of that. So when I'm watching them, you know, I'm watching them as if I'm just watching a movie, because that's how good they are. But it doesn't live up to some of the other mystical works that Ghibli has done, because it's one of
Name
the
a few.
realistic ones, which a lot of people don't like. Like if
Oh
there
yeah,
isn't a
there's not as much fantasy. You're right.
yeah, if there's not a lot of flying dragons in it, which a lot of people like, that's why people don't like Only Yesterday. That's why people don't like Whispers of the Heart. You know, those are kind of some weird Ghibli movies that a lot of people don't like because they weren't, you know, super crazy in the fantasy world. But that's what this movie was. It was about a girl who has asthma. So her adoptive mother tells her to go live with her sister out in the country. To breathe clean air for a while is what the doctor recommends, and so it's what she does. And she comes across this mansion, and she sees like the ghosts that live in that mansion. So it's kind of a little fantasy. She sees some paranormal stuff, but then there's so much. She meets this girl named Marnie, who's a ghost. Like she's clearly a ghost because she can only see her during certain times of the day.
Yeah, this
And-
isn't much of a spoiler. They show it early on in the movie.
Yeah, like she clearly is hallucinating, like right at the beginning. But like a half hour in, pretty much, she meets this girl, and she obviously lives in this mansion, that she has to sometimes row a boat to because it's like on a marsh flat. But all this other stuff, you know, she's a girl. It's kind of coming of age, you know. She's growing up, She's trying to figure out what her purpose is, who she is.
Well, I think the main thing is like she's just very lonely.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
she doesn't feel like she's a part of regular society. Like in an early part of the movie, she runs into some girls who are trying to make friends with her, and she just can't deal with it. So
Yeah.
she goes. Tries to
She
find
got some
Marnie.
like mad anxiety. Like.
Yeah, I think that was like the main reason I think they sent her. It wasn't really the asthma was just like a pretext for sending her. They really wanted her to just get a change of scenery.
Yeah,
'Cause she's
because
having
even
trouble coping.
her mom at the beginning, her foster mom at the beginning of the movie is like, you know, she used to be so expressive. Now she just like never smiles. She doesn't tell me about school, you know, and I think, I mean, the asthma thing, yeah, you know, but I think like what Nick said, they try and use it as more of a thing to get her a change of scenery and, you know, have some time away from the city and that kind of thing.
Which is a recurring theme in quite a bit of Ghibli movies.
Yeah,
Nature
and,
saves everything.
Getting back to nature.
This one isn't as much about nature though. I think it's more about like.
This one was more about.
This
one was kind of more like
friends and family, but it wasn't even that. It was like
she really just was trying to find her. She really was just trying to find her place in the world, you know. You know, she has a foster parent. You know, she doesn't know much about who she is. Therefore, I feel like she can't accelerate or express herself to who she is to other people because still thinks she's weird because she doesn't know, and that's probably, you know, the main thing there. When she meets Marnie, though, you know, Marnie makes her feel like she makes her feel really loved. She makes her feel special. So every chance she gets, she goes to see Marnie, and that's like the friendship they have really is important throughout the rest of the movie after that, and it did make me cry. I'm very emotional, so like, you know,
dude,
movies,
I'm a brick and I cried.
yeah, fucking stoner cried. Like movies make me cry, dude. Like, you know, if it
no more Ghibli movies right before the podcast though.
But like
I you gotta watch this movie, Grave of the Fireflies.
Grave of the Fireflies, yeah, wrecked me really bad. Howl's Moving Castle got to me a little too, even though that wasn't as feely as this one.
It's like if it's a Ghibli movie, it'll have not Spirited Away. That one didn't make anyone cry, I don't think.
No, Spirited Away was more like
because
really magical.
It won awards.
The Spirited Away is like an experience, if anything. You know, but yeah, no, it was really good. It definitely doesn't. I think a lot. I heard or I read that it got really positive reviews. And,
yeah, it has a high score in Mel.
Yeah, I watched it in Japanese, although I would have loved to watch it in English because John C. Reilly, Kathy Bates were voices in it, and I really do appreciate how much Studio Ghibli goes for the American voice acting because they don't want their movies to turn out like crap in America.
Well, Disney handles the voice acting.
They handle Hayao Miyazaki's for the most part.
Doesn't have the voice actors listed on Mal for the English voice actors.
You go to IMDb for that.
Oh, on IMDb.
Or Wikipedia.
This movie just came out. I don't know why it's not on Mal, but whatever.
But Hayao Miyazaki, most Studio Ghibli films that come out in America that Disney produces they're because Hayao Miyazaki did them. But I mean, they're pretty partnered up with Studio Ghibli in the first place. So, but I mean, sometimes it's really apparent, like fucking in Ponyo, like Miley Cyrus's little sister did, like.
Dude,
one
Ponyo
of the
was
voices.
such a bad movie.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
One of the worst Ghibli movies, if not the worst.
Definitely the worst Hayao Miyazaki movie.
Yeah, it's down there. But you guys should go watch it though. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Still better than Hibike Euphonium. Shots fired.
Shots fired.
No, it's not better than that. It's really not.
I'm simmering. I'm simmering over here.
Not much could be better. At least
I like how
out
they
of this
had
season.
Kiki's broomstick in the car when they were driving.
But yeah, that's my contribution to the discussion.
You did great.
Thank
Wonderful.
you.
You
7 out of 10
done
was
good.
watching.
You done good.
Well, that about wraps up this episode.
I mean, we still got Ninja Slayer, Punchline.
We're
bad shows to talk about.
no. No.
Well, we got Ore Monogatari. We didn't talk about that one yet.
Monogatari sucks.
It's Ore Monogatari,
Ore
which is
Monogatari.
not part of the Monogatari season.
Which I
It's a
did not know
romance
until
comedy
Aaron told
anime.
me a couple podcasts ago.
Shoujo comedy romance. That's all you need to know. It's pretty funny. Madhouse.
It's wonderful. We don't have really much time to get into it.
Madhouse
But-
sucks.
Punchline, do not watch it. Ninja Slayer. Watch it
Psalm
because
over here.
that's good.
This sucks. That sucks. Everything sucks.
Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Pretty fun. Getting
we
better.
didn't talk about the dungeon.
We can talk about boob strings later.
Yes. There's
That I'm
always
gonna
time
start
for
watching.
boob
There's
strings
Boob
later.
string.
always
yes,
more
yes,
time for
yeah.
boob strings. Yes, once Som has caught up with it, he can tell us all about how Hestia is Bestia.
Not as good as Kumiko. Sorry. Not gonna happen.
Is it wrong
Anyway,
to pick up girls in dungeons? Sucks.
anyway, I am Quokka. That was Nick, Som, and Mac, and this was the Anime Summit podcast.
I'm stuck in a never-ending dream where my wishes and hopes cannot be seen, and it's killing me, but I can't let go. There's a sadness raining down on me, and the future is looking oh so bleak, but I'm holding on so dearly to precious memories. To protect the ones I cherish, I've gotta be stronger. Don't wanna hesitate, I wanna be braver. So no matter what may come, I can face the morning sun. I'll shine, 'cause you brought me to your world and gave me life. On the night I suffered most, you saved my life. Wielding all the things that we believe in, a test of faith, I know I can win. I'll grant us love and peace for all time. 'Cause you shine.
If you like the show, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Anime Summit or leave a review on iTunes.